Happy Friday, church. Welcome to today's digital devotion. So I was reading recently that the term spring cleaning, for those of you that don't know, comes from Victorian times in Britain when homes were heated with oil and coal. And so a layer of grime and soot would accumulate all over the house, especially on windows or anything glass, and certainly the rugs would get really ashy. And so they had to wait until the weather was warm after the coldest winter months had passed, and then they could open up all the windows and clean the house and take the rugs outside and beat them. And so that's where the term spring cleaning comes from. Now, obviously, we don't have to wait until spring because it's pretty temperate the whole year round in Southern California. And even if we lived in a cooler place nowadays, our homes aren't heated that way, so we could easily clean any time of year. But I like this idea, this theme, that in this season of Eastertide, in this season of new life, when we're thinking about new beginnings, that we also make an effort to clean out our homes, clean out, maybe our lives, and we get rid of clutter, we get rid of anything that's clogging our hearts or our minds, and we sort of do a reset. So I was thinking of bringing that up today as a way to ask all of you, and you, Pastor Jacob, if you're feeling like speaking on the fly, what are you...
Oh, I thought you meant you had reasons why I needed to do a personal spring cleaning. I thought that's what you were getting at.
Just a personal note for you. It's time to do some spring cleaning. No, I was thinking what are ways that we can all do some spring cleaning spiritually in our lives right now? Are there things that we need to clean out of our lives or our hearts or our minds to kind of do a reset? And I think Lent was a season in which we all focused on that, but that's only 40 days. I feel like we don't always get fully reset during Lent, and sometimes we're focusing on adding spiritual practices or doing other things during Lent, not necessarily this idea of cleaning things out. Right, what do you think about this?
No, I love it. And when you're talking about that, it makes me think of a verse that I've always found so powerful when in the Psalms, the psalmist cries out, God, search me and show me any ways in which I'm not walking on your path. And I like that idea of just checking in with ourselves, checking with God. What's going on right now in my spiritual life? Where's my heart at? What am I valuing? Where are my priorities? Where have I been failing to care for my loved ones or care for the least of these? How have I been selfish? Because it's so easy for selfishness to creep into our lives and we don't even realize it. It's just our daily behavior. And then we think, okay, this isn't really being outward focused, and of course taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves is so important. We can't love our neighbor unless we love ourselves. However, it's good to just do that sort of check-in with God, with ourselves, and say, how am I being in the world? Does this match up with what God wants from me? And I like that idea that it doesn't have to be one time of year. I would say, as you said, we can do spring cleaning in our house anytime. Well, we can do that check-in outside of Lent. Lent's kind of the time of our spiritual spring cleanings, but we can do it year-round. I can't imagine only cleaning our house once a year. Well, I mean,
it looks like
sometimes with the pets, it looks like
once a year. We have 3 dogs and 2 potbelly pigs and a toddler, for those of you who don't know. So our house is in need of a spring cleaning every week.
Absolutely. So all that to say, I think it's great to just kind of take a moment. And it doesn't have to be, a spring cleaning. It's like, get out the mops, get out the buckets, get out. I mean, I don't know who has mops and buckets these days, but
some people still
absolutely.
do that,
but whatever you're getting out for your spring cleaning, when you do a spiritual check-in, it doesn't have to be this, I've got to go to church and sit down and read the Bible for 5 hours in order to check in with God. It can really just be as you are sipping your morning coffee, or as you're laying your head down on your pillow, or you're taking a quick shower, to just say hey God, show me where I need to be walking in your ways better this week. And that quick little pause can be your spiritual check-in.
Yeah, I like that. I was thinking for myself that the spring cleaning might be kind of a position of the heart that I've been taking with God lately, which is one of frustration and thinking like when things haven't been going the way I want them to, that God is somehow either not aware or on my side, or feeling like God just actively like doesn't care. And I don't know why I'm defaulting to that lately, but I think I need a spring cleaning to remind myself that God is on my side, that God wants the best for me and all of God's children, and that we're beloved. And so resetting myself in this new season of life to feel like when I'm frustrated, I have to remember that God is with me, that God is wanting what I want in my heart. Like God wants good things for all of us. And so God is not the enemy. God is not on the other side. God is not on the opposite team from me and like what I want for our church and what I want for the community and what I want for our family. That that God is a loving God and not a God who's like actively working against me. So that's my spring, my personal spring cleaning.
That's beautiful.
It's just a reset of the position of the heart.
I like that. And I think it's a reminder that those moments of frustration can be a good time for that quick spiritual check-in. Because I resonate with that in those moments of frustration, if I'm able to stop for a second, then I can remind myself like, this isn't something worth stealing my joy. Or every problem always feels like the one that's going to be the downfall, right? And it's good to just stop and say like, I've gotten through something like this before. I'm going to get through it again. Yeah. God's going to get me to the other side of this one too.
Right.
So I like that idea of doing spring cleaning in those moments of frustration.
Yeah. I have a colleague who I've only ever known in an online Facebook group for clergy women. But a lot of times other women in the group will post, things they're going through and difficulties and challenges. And she has a tattoo on her forearm that says, "This too shall pass." And she'll just post a picture of it over and over again for anyone who's going through a tough time. And so that's a good reminder as well. Yeah.
All right, church.
That's
hope you can do some spiritual check-in, spring cleaning.
When in doubt, you can just schedule like a dental cleaning, like a physical dental cleaning. That's what you thought I was trying to remind you about in the beginning of the devotion.
I need a dental cleaning? No, I thought I have to clean my house, my soul, and my teeth. Is that what you're telling me?
I thought that's what you were talking about earlier.
No. All right.
It can be any type of cleaning, but we are here as your pastors to provide food for thought for a spiritual spring cleaning.
Yeah, we'll see you in church.
We'll see you on Sunday.